And a very good morning. Thanks for joining me. You're watching Chris on Real Talk. It is the 9th of November already, whereas the time gone. It's just flying by. So I've got a bit of an alternative audio set up today. I've managed to get the Bluetooth working through my phone as the camera through OBS Studio. It's a work in progress. I can't do much. I've been told not to buy anything before Christmas because Christmas. But I do hope you can hear me well, and I do hope that I'm coming across clearly and concisely. Now, the reason I'm going live today, I was going to give it a complete miss this week because I'm not in the mood for anything. But I thought, you know what? Me being me, I'm going to share my experience, I'm going to share my rant with other people. So that's the least I could do. Because it doesn't just affect me, this is the sort of thing that affects other people, and you experience these things the same as I do. And if I'm anything, I'm a man for the people, and I'm not going to sugarcoat what it is. So I'll get the most important one out of the way first, I think, and just get comfortable. The most important thing that's annoyed me this week is having a very difficult and distressing phone call with a member of my family, because she was treated like crap, basically. My aunt, bless her, and she may well see this video, so if you do end up watching this video, hi. But my aunt went for a scan at a well-known London hospital, Guy's, and she was treated like crap, basically. She was treated like crap, and this I'm losing my words already. So what had happened was she was assessed by a nurse and had a cannula put in her hand because she had to have a CT scan. So she would have had to, I believe, have a radioactive substance put into her veins and then sit for a while, what have you. But she's talking to this nurse. And first and foremost is she said to this nurse, can you please wear your mask correctly? And this nurse had her mask on. Let me see if I haven't got one handy. Uno momento, por favor. I'm gonna grab a mask because I have to share this with everyone. Give me one moment, please. You see, this is as real as it gets, just, faffing around in the house while doing a live stream. I don't have a fancy studio and cut things out and do what have you. I do things live. This is how I do it. I've no idea how many people are watching. I know Sarah's random videos are watching. So this is a mask, a typical medical style face covering, extends like that. Now, ideally, when wearing this thing, you need to have the folds facing downwards and the metal strip at the top, if it has it, at the top. And what you do is you put it over your nose, over your chin, over your ears, pinch it there, and you pull it underneath. I'm now wearing a mask. This is a facial covering. This is how it's supposed to be worn correctly. There's no real excuse for it. And the nurse, who should have known better, was doing this. This is pointless because even if it's catching spit, you're still breathing out your nose, virus in droplets out of nose. You might as well not be wearing the mask whatsoever. It's basically a chin nappy. So my aunt, quite rightfully, asked the nurse to wear it correctly, and she should have known better. To which the nurse replied, I'm not anywhere near you. No, what she should have said was, I'm really sorry, boom, done. Anyway, they have started having a conversation while they're putting this cannula into my aunt, and Roy West says we've got an echo. I do apologise, let me turn that down a bit. If there's an echo, that should hopefully remedy things. but a nurse, wow. Yeah, so they start talking about the lockdown and the restrictions. Fair enough. And the nurse was brushing it aside, saying we don't need restrictions. The lockdown is stupid. The virus is this. The virus is that. The lockdown is stupid. She was basically slating something to try and help the situation. And my aunt drew a comparison to something else. Now, bearing in mind, my aunt is of an age. She's in her 70s. She's well into her 70s, actually. And what she said, and I fully agree with her. She said, these restrictions ain't nothing, she said. Then she said, if you want restrictions, imagine what it was like back in the war when Hitler was around. You couldn't even have a candle lit at night. Which I agree with. And on that, this nurse left the room and left her for well over half an hour. And then she came back with security, removed my aunt from the room she was in, took her into another room and started to question her, and she was accused of being racist because she mentioned the word Hitler. Saying the word Hitler is not racist. Drawing comparison to restrictions in World War II and now is not racist. She was literally using it as a reference for how it was back then compared to how easy we've got it now. This so-called lockdown we're in, it's not even a lockdown. It needs to happen, don't get me wrong, I'm a fan of it. However, it's not really a lockdown, is it? It's tougher restrictions. A lockdown means nothing's open unless it's a supermarket. You can still go to many stores if they've got a click and collect service or a call and collect service. You know, there's many places you can go outside and meet one other person outside. So it is tough, but it's not as tough as the first time. But I wouldn't worry about it. Just get on with what you're supposed to be doing. And after this ordeal that my aunt had to suffer, she then went outside after having her scan, where she was then confronted, or not confronted, she was met by one of the other women that were there at the hospital. And she said to my aunt, this woman, I saw everything that happened, are you okay? And at that point, my aunt, an elderly lady, absolutely broke down into tears. And it broke my heart, because when I spoke to her on the phone, it nearly reduced me to tears. How dare they treat an old lady like that? How dare they? That's disgusting. So Guy's Hospital, Guy's St Thomas's, I have sent various emails and I am expecting a phone call from you if you end up seeing this. If anyone knows or wants to share this video to someone there, feel free, absolutely no problem. But I am expecting a full apology given to my aunt, and I'm not going to take any less. And as for that nurse who didn't do her job correctly and made nasty, vicious accusations, shame on her. I do apologise for any other background noise. Neighbours are being what neighbours are. Let me read some of these comments. Serious Random Videos says, good morning, Chris, hope you're okay. Bus worker Francis, hello, mate. Morning, Chris. I never make you sick. No, you don't make me sick. Roy West says, good morning. Soft 16 says, morning, Chris. Probably under her nose or on her chin. Yep, got an echo, says Roy West. I did try and remedy that. I do hope I've got the audio back the way, I mean, I've not had very good luck lately, in all fairness, with audio. Chris says, hi, Chris. How you doing, pal? I'm good. In a weird sort of way, I'm annoyed, and there's more things to be annoyed at. I am getting onto these things. I've had a bit of a week, really. I know lockdown is stupid. Be strong, mate. I'm here for you, says bus worker Francis. I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. In many ways, he's a neighbour of mine because he only lives about half a mile down the road. It's a very small world. The world in general and the world of YouTube. Serious Random Video says, your aunt needs to get in contact with pals. I got in contact with pals. I was the first one to call them. They forwarded me a lot of very good information. Put this on auto. Is that better? I don't know. For me to contact the chief executive, I've done that myself. And my mum helped me compose an email as well, because although I'm quite capable, when I'm in a bit of a heated mood, I tend to say things that I regret. Well said, Chris. You've done well, mate. Keep up the fight back. Yeah, it's very true. London Bus Preservation Trust I work at. It's the London Bus Museum in Cobham, Brooklands near Weybridge. Go and check it out. If anyone's interested in buses, I suggest you give bus worker Francis a shout, because he knows what he's talking about. He's a nice guy. What's McGarry says, there's definitely a virus of some kind out there, pal. She's not racist at all. No, she's not. No, she's not. And it annoys me, because having a conversation with someone and mentioning a name and an event isn't racist. That's disgusting. And I've got more to say on that within reason, because there's something else that's getting on my tits at the moment as well. Excuse my language. Soft 16 says, oh, nice, a true bus fan. It's very true, he is. I've worked on London buses for about 30 years and driven many types of bus. But you know what? I was unaware of that. You learn something new every day. Also here for you, pal. I appreciate that. Moving on to the next thing, which I'm annoyed about, is we all get moments where everything within our house, in our kitchen specifically, works perfectly. The kettle works, the oven works, the fridge works, or the fridge freezer, microwave works. Everything works, and it's a wonderful day, and nothing ever goes wrong, what have you. And slowly but surely, we all have times like this. It's where things start to break, things start breaking, and it's not just one, they all go at the same time. So a little while ago, around about 6 months ago, we started noticing that the fridge freezer in our kitchen starts making either funny noises or making no noises, of which it never did before. And it's like, well, it'll last, it'll last. You know, we don't have to replace it. It's good. It's keeping the food cold. You know, what have you. Then we start noticing the knobs on the oven, because we don't fry anything. We grill everything. The grill's underneath. The knobs on the oven have started to melt, and they've all fallen off. And so it gets to a point where it's like, well, we need to start replacing things. What do we replace first? And it would make sense to replace the fridge freezer first, because without no fridge freezer, you've got no food to cook. Anyway, last week Monday, 1 week ago today, my other half, she goes on to a well-known company's website, Currys, and buys a fridge freezer, 50-50 split, Beko, and the delivery date was set for Saturday gone. So not a problem. So we just have to make sure we don't tamper too much of the fridge, not going in and out of it unnecessarily, looking for something to graze on, what have you, because if it does go, then we're stuck without a fridge freezer until Saturday. Anyway, Thursday comes, and old fridge freezer decides it was going to start playing, start playing games. So Hayley calls, my other half Hayley, she calls up Currys and says, look, we need this delivered a little bit quicker. We'll pay for it. Please can we have it a little bit sooner, because the old one's broken. We can't open the doors, otherwise the food's going to go off, blah, 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 blah. Not a problem, they said. We'll have it to you tomorrow. This will be Friday. We'll have it to you tomorrow, they said. Fantastic, great, wonderful, fantastic news. We're now getting this a day earlier. The fridge, as long as we don't open it and keep closing it, we'll keep the food frozen for at least 24 hours in the event of it going fully kaput, what have you. So I stay in on Friday, and it was due between 7:30 and 11:30. And I stay in, obviously I stay in anyway, but 2 o'clock in the afternoon comes on Friday, and no fridge freezer. I call them, get the relevant information, try and find out where this item is, and apparently there's a massive cock up at the warehouse somewhere in North London where there was no stock at all, apparently. It was showing stock on the website. So they said you can't have it until Sunday. At what point I got a little bit concerned about this. So my other half, she bagged up all the freezer stuff, put it into our spare chest freezer, and the rest of it, which was the majority of it, moved it down to her mum's house and stuck it in the fridge freezer there. Socially distanced, of course. In fact, that's where our food still is. And she went to work, and she comes home to find this is what's happening. So she gets on the phone. My other half, when she's on the warpath, is worse than me. It's quite funny, really. And we're then told, "Oh, we're so sorry. It's a mistake on our part. We'll have it to you, blah, 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 Sunday. We'll have it to you Monday, blah, blah." Anyway, it gets delivered on Saturday. On the original delivery day, it gets delivered, which is fine, fair enough. We've now got this fridge freezer, and we paid for it to be brought up to where we are, unboxed, so that we're happy with it, and then they take said rubbish away. So the delivery guys, they turn up, they bring this humongous fridge freezer into my kitchen, and they dump it there and run. At what point I said, "Mate, you're going to unpack it?" "No, if we'd known that, mate, we'd have done it downstairs, you know what I mean?" And that's not my problem, is it? And then they ran out the door, downstairs, in the truck, Foxtrot Oscar, see you later. And that annoys me even more, because if I'd been disabled or by myself, elderly, unable to move or shift anything, there would have been a fridge freezer in a box in my kitchen gathering dust. And they turned up without wearing any gloves, without wearing any form of PPE, absolutely nothing, dumped it, and then left. Fortunately, I know exactly how to deal with unboxing things. I'm in a fortunate position to not be disabled. But if that had been someone else, if that had been someone who couldn't walk, or were elderly, or had limited use of their arms or hands, or couldn't stand for whatever the reason be, maybe wheelchair bound, and you know, there's many different types of people out there that wouldn't have been able to deal with that situation. They would have just left it there and Foxtrot Oscar. So that's another email that has to be sent. Let me read some more of these comments. Yeah, definitely the virus is there. Blah, 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 blah. Read that one. I do apologise for skimming over these. I'm having a month off work in lockdown too. Have a good day, mate. You too. Have a fantastic day. We're all here for you, Chris, says Sarah's Random Videos. Thank you. Really appreciate that. Kieran Gallagher. Long time no see watching videos on this channel live. Thanks for joining me. Really appreciate it. Definitely deserve compensation for losing frozen food. Contact customer services. Now, this is true. This is true. As far as curries are aware, I could have lost well over 100 to 200 pounds worth of frozen food if it wasn't for the quick thinking of my missus, and she bagged it up and drove it to her mother's house. Now I could go down that road, the compensation route, but I'm not going to. Because I'm not gonna lie like that, especially when we have food. It's just somewhere else. If I, at this point, buy food that I don't need, it's taking it away from someone else. And everyone knows currently there are so many idiots out there that like to panic buy. So I appreciate the advice, but I'm not going to do that. Moving on to the third thing that's angered and annoyed me, and I have to pick my words very carefully. I'm at a loss because I've been at home here currently since March. I don't know if I'm going to be kept on the extended furlough scheme, which is, I believe, until the end of March. I haven't been contacted about that, but we'll wait and see. It would make sense for my company to try and take that offer up purely because it doesn't cost them a penny, whereas I will be now on exceptional sick leave, which actually costs them money. So we'll wait and see. But I do find out while I'm at home, when I haven't been out of the house, I do find out when people talk about me. It is a very small world, and people like to keep in contact with me personally because I have friends. And what bugs me are when I hear from not just one person but a few people that a certain individual has been talking about me behind my back and spreading nasty, vicious lies and accusations about me while I've been here. That's all I'm going to say on the matter. This video is probably going to end up being watched by that person, and I want you to understand that I am dealing with it accordingly, and I'm not very happy. And if anyone who can do something about this knows exactly what I'm talking about, I suggest you give me a call as a matter of urgency, because I'm not going to tolerate what I've been accused of, and I certainly don't tolerate what I've been accused of either. So there's that. But I'm not mentioning names. So there we go. But it is serious, and it is being dealt with. Let's read some more of these comments. Definitely deserve compensation. You're welcome, Chris. I'm glad to be back. Yeah, I really appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. Obviously, my channel it's a weird channel. You either love my channel's very Marmite. You either love it or hate it. Let me put this down a bit. There we go. Yeah, my channel's very Marmite. I don't plan things. I pretty much go live on the fly as and when I feel like it, really. Just because I've got this at the side and I've got this at the bottom and I've got this at the top doesn't, and I've got my little scratch my head there. Just because I've got that there doesn't really mean that I know what I'm talking about. It just means that I've read something and I know how to do this, and this. And obviously the audio problem I've got, but yeah, it is what it is. I mean, it's live 99% of the time. Very rarely do I do a pre-record. Just yet again, I want to do a little plug for my friend Peter Burke. His channel Army of Love, or Peter Burke Army of Love. Go and check him out. Go and give him your love and support, really, because he's such a great guy. And his videos are, I think they're personally good because I helped him work on them. But his content is fantastic. So there's that. But I'm struggling with subscribers because I can't seem to get over 1,309. I get to that peak, and then it goes 7, and then 4, and then 1,300, and then maybe 1,298, and then it'll go back up to 1,305. And I understand why. It is purely me. A lot of people don't like me, and yet some people do. All I can say is really, if there's something on my channel that you agree with, you find it interesting, feel free to click on the share button and send it to someone on WhatsApp. Send it to someone on Facebook. You know, they're there to be shared, they're there to be watched. And I like doing this channel because it gives me a chance to talk directly to people and have a conversation. And it also gives people an opportunity to talk among themselves within the comment section down below, and I appreciate that because it helps me understand things from a different point of view, and it helps other people understand other people's point of view, and I really like that. So what I'm going to try and do tomorrow is hopefully, if I can get a Zoom call set up with a friend of mine, I'm going to go live tomorrow, 50-50 chance. And hopefully that'll be at the side, that'll be at the bottom, but there'll be a nice line down the middle where you'll be able to see us having a bit of a conversation as to how things are going. But there we go. But yeah, it's been a frustrating time over the last week, and it's only going to get worse for many different people, especially as we've got another 3.5 weeks left of lockdown too. All I can say is, if you're going to go out, please be safe. Observe social distancing. It doesn't take much to stay away from someone. Don't wear your mask under your chin like a ball bag sack wrapper. You know, it's a mask. It's not a bollock warmer. It just makes me laugh. Just be sensible. Don't panic buy. Wear a mask. Stay away from people. Wash your hands. And remember, I said all of these things at the start of the year, didn't I? And it turns out I was right. So there's that. On to something completely different now. Let's move on. We're all aware that there was a general election for the presidency of the United States of America. America! And Donald Trump, bless his cotton socks, it looks like he's lost to Sleepy Joe. Joe Biden. Even if Trump, you need to pay attention, son. Even if there was election fraud, and there probably was, because there's fraud in every single election throughout history, the amount you're looking at is nothing compared to the amount of legal votes, Mr. Trump. Even if you say, Russia got involved, I'm going to go play golf, you know, even if Russia did get involved, or whoever, the numbers just don't add up. You lost, Mr. Trump. You lost. It doesn't matter how many times you get the votes recounted, you lost. And it's your own fault that you lost, Mr. Trump, because although you may be a good businessman, you're not a politician. You won the last time because people wanted something different. And that is what you gave them. You may have got people their jobs. You know, you might have got unemployment down, you might have been good for the economy. However, when it comes to COVID-19, and this is where you've lost the election, Mr. Trump, is you've played into the hands of conspiracy theorists who think the virus is nothing to worry about. You are so fixed on getting things reopened that you put the health and safety and lives of people at risk. You see? You refuse to condemn far-right factions and racist organisations. You won't condemn them. When you were told to say these people are real and they're disgusting, especially with George Floyd, all you said was stand down, stand ready and waiting, stand down. Look, in fact, because of the lighting in this room, I look as orange as he does. Open this curtain. Ah, bright light. You know, so because of your own stupid actions, Mr. Trump, you've lost the presidency, and that's just unfortunately the way it goes. I have next to no sympathy for you whatsoever, Mr. Trump, and it seems to me that you are now acting like a complete child by refusing to leave. And even if all the votes were recounted, even if that was the case, nothing, and I mean this wholeheartedly, nothing would change the end result. Joe Biden would still be the next president-elect. You see? And good for him. Because I'm with him on that. When he said, it's not over until every single last vote is counted. I agree with that. Even if some of those were phony votes, and you have to recount, even if you discounted all the phony ones, there'd still be a new president-elect. There would. Another thing that's getting to me at the moment is a lot of people are drawing attention to the fact that the Vice President-elect, Kamala Harris, is a woman of colour. Stop mentioning the fact that she's a woman of colour. The colour of her skin should have nothing to do with anything. She's clearly good at her job, and people need to stop drawing attention to the fact that she's a woman of colour. It is a great step forward, don't get me wrong. It is a fantastic step forward. But she shouldn't be judged by the colour of her skin. She should be judged by her actions and her ability to do her job effectively. And I reckon she will do that job effectively. So please stop. I mean, don't get me wrong. Having Barack Obama as the first black president, I think is fantastic. For equality, for a great big step forward in just humanity, moving on from what sadly it is, which is nasty. And yes, having a woman of colour in the position of White House, again, is fantastic. But at this point, I would hope that voting for someone or not voting for someone based on the colour of their skin, I would hope that would stop. For me, I will vote for whoever I think will do the job correctly, regardless of the colour of their skin. And people keep drawing attention to it. I see a woman I see someone who loves her country. I don't see a black woman, I don't see a white woman, I see a person. And that's how it should be, but that's just me. Let me read some more of these comments. I really appreciate everyone watching today. Paul's Daily Chat says, hi. I always stay subscribed, Chris. I've been here since the start. Thank you very much. Never unsubscribe, mate. Been there for you all the way, with you along. Stay strong, buddy. Cheers, Stu. I never leave my house unless it's for college or for essential shopping, says Kieran Gallagher. And do you know what? We all do the best we can in the best way we can. But there's such a small minority of people out there that just don't want to follow the rules. Is it me or is your audio slightly echoey, Chris? Yes, it is echoey. I really have no idea why. I tell you what, let's do a tester. I'm going to push a mute button. Tell me if this is any better. So I've now muted the desktop audio on this video, and it's now going solely through the iPhone camera. And do you know, it might even be picking up from the microphone on the camera and the microphone around my neck. It might be picking up both. I don't know, but we'll have to wait and see, because look, it's picking up that, and I don't know if this is picking up. Is it picking up that? I don't know. Much better. Okay, fine, cool. If that's better, then that's better. Thank you very much. We try and work with what we've got. But yeah, so Trump's been acting like a little bitch, basically, and I just think he should just accept defeat, shake Joe Biden's hand, and no matter what happens, whether you're Democrat or Republican, just remember that the president is there, not just for people who vote blue or red, but the president is there for every American, regardless of your political background or upbringing. The president is there literally for you as an American. So just remember that. If you're across the pond and you're watching this, it doesn't matter how you voted. It doesn't matter if you got what you wanted or not. At the end of the day, a president is there for you, not just the person who voted the opposite to you. The last thing I want to talk about before ending this video, and it has been going on for quite a while, and I do apologize for ranting on quite a bit at 32 minutes and 20 seconds. We're pretty much all aware by now, that's been floating around on social media, and it was on the news, of a distressing video which actually made me cry, of a young girl that was approached, I have to say the word allegedly, abducted and allegedly sexually abused, because I can't go out and say he definitely done it until he's actually thrown in prison and found guilty, which he will be. I just don't want to get myself in trouble. But we all saw the footage where a very, very brave woman followed a young man with a young girl. And she followed him and questioned him. And eventually he let this young girl go. And he was saying that she was family, she's family, blah, blah, blah. That young girl, I've never heard anyone cry like that. She was scared. She was scared because she was abused, allegedly. And I have to say allegedly, even though we all know what happened, we have to say the word allegedly. But this angers me. That shouldn't happen. There are, sadly, men and women out there, and women do it too, that find it acceptable to kidnap young boys and girls and sexually abuse them. That woman who followed him is an absolute hero. And this happens every single day across every single country in the world. And all I'm asking now is for all of you, decent human beings, if you notice something that you don't think is right, question it. If you see a young boy or a young girl being approached by someone and you know something isn't right, do something about it. Report it. It is everyone's responsibility to safeguard our children and other people's children. And all I can say at this point is my heart absolutely goes out to that young girl. and her parents. I can't even begin to imagine how she's feeling, and it angered me. It did. It angered me when I saw that. It angered me and it upset me. And and when I say this, it's going to sound nasty, and I mean this with every fibre of what I am. I hope when he goes to prison, he becomes either someone's bitch or he gets beaten up to the point where he wants to hang himself. Because I've got absolutely no sympathy for that guy if he did get beaten up. None. Let me see what's going on with the video on this. Effect filters. Ooh, sharpen. Let's try and unsharpen this, shall we? Close. Hello. It's very bright, isn't it? Sun, bright light, bright light, bright light. Let's read some more of these. Some more of these comments. Much better. Hey, Chris, says JBM Travels. JBM Travels says, who's going to prison? I hope what I'm saying is that young man that allegedly abducted and allegedly sexually abused that young girl that was all over social media, and we all know he did it, but we have to say the word allegedly until he goes to prison and he's found completely guilty. And I hate saying that word when we know what the truth is. Yeah, I hope he goes to prison. Glad you're okay, Chris. More dog walks, rants, please. Yeah, you know what? I'm working on that. At the moment, I'm walking the dog who's actually currently there. Stanford, Stanford. There he is. Look, look at him. Yeah, I walk him in the morning at the moment, along with taking my son to school, and I just don't like doing that when there's lots of people around. I usually try and do a dog walk rant in the evening, so I will work on that. I will try and get back to doing those. I do enjoy those actually, but yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that. Obviously, there's none of this on the side, none of this, none of this, and none of this. But it is what it is. I still get to see what you're saying to me, and I really appreciate that. Sarah's random video says it's sunny in Kent, Chris. It's really cloudy where I am, says Kieran. You know what? It's about 50-50 here. It is quite bright here. Let me see if I can change this to manual. Hello. Zoom, ISO. That's a little bit better, although I do look really, really orange. No, we don't like that. We don't like that. We don't like that at all. White balance. What's going on with this? Do you know what? Automatic. Automatic. It may be a little bit bright, but it is what it is. Anyway, I'm going to go. I think I've had a bit of a session this morning talking about things that I didn't really think I needed to talk about. But there you go. I heard from someone who works for Boris Johnson, they're planning a Christmas lockdown. Okay, before I go, I'm going to just tell you what I think about this situation about lockdowns in the UK and what have you. Currently, we're in lockdown 2.0. It's more of a severely heavy restriction than a lockdown. There's still many things you can do, along with all the things that you can't do. I believe that when we come out of this 4-week lockdown, we're going to be put straight into tier 3, which isn't as bad as what we're in now, but it's still tier 3. That's what I believe, and I reckon it will stay tier 3 until the end of the year, but with a 2-day break for people to go see their friends and family over Christmas. That's what I think, but there you go. Anyway, look, I do appreciate people joining me this morning. I do apologise for banging on and on and on, but it is what it is. This is real talk, and this is me being as real as I can be. So what I want everyone to do is, please, if it is your first time joining me, and if you like what you see and hear here, and then please hit the subscribe button and hit the like button. If you don't like what you see, give me a thumbs down, but be honest about it. Tell me the reason why, without being a dick, because you will get blocked. And there you go. Feel free to share all the good stuff. Wash your hands. Stay safe. wear a mask, don't panic buy, stay safe, love you lots. Mwah.